Hey guys, Blake here. And about 5 or so years ago, I built my second computer. It had a GTX 560 from EVGA in it, but with recently with all the games that have been coming out, like Battlefield 4 and Metro Last Light, it just hasn't been able to keep up with the 60 frames per second that my monitor can do. So it's kind of pointless in that sense. So I picked up a GTX 970 Windforce 3 from Gigabyte. And this isn't the G1 gaming version. That one has a 64 higher megahertz core clock and 72 megahertz higher boost clock, along with like a back plate and LED on the top front of the card. But this card does come with a 1114 core clock and 1253 boost clock, along with 7010 memory clock on a 256-bit bus. Now, it still has all the other 900 series GTX features that we're used to, like dynamic super resolution, which allows your graphics card to render a higher resolution game than what your monitor can support, and then downscale it so then it fits. And it also has voxel global illumination for better lighting, along with G-Sync, so you can have dynamic V-Sync with a supported monitor and DisplayPort connection. Overclocking this card was actually quite simple. I managed to get an extra 200 megahertz on the core clock and 300 megahertz on the memory clock without boosting the power limit or the voltage. So if you have a card like mine, I'm going to assume that you can get a pretty high overclock if you increase the voltage or the power target at all. In front of the card you can see the plastic shroud that has 3 fans and 2 copper heat pipes underneath it, which makes up the Windforce 3 cooler. And on the top of the card you can see your 2 SLI fingers that is good for 2, 3, or 4-way SLI, along with a 6-pin and an 8-pin PCIe power connector. And on the back side of the card you can just see the PCB because this card does not include a backplate. And on the bottom of the card, there is a PCIe 3.0 x16 slot that connects into your motherboard. And for I/O, this card has 3 display ports, 1 HDMI 2.0, and 1 DVI-I and 1 DVI-D. It should be noted that this card is 12.2 inches long, so if you have a small case like I do, it will not fit in it. I actually had to Dremel out a spot in my case for the card to fit in.
For testing, I used the following hardware configuration: an Intel DH67BL motherboard, a Core i5-2400, 8GB of G-Skill Ripjaw Gaming Series memory, a Crucial MX200 250GB SSD, and Windows 10 64-bit. On 3D Mark Firestrike, the stock card gave me a score of 8,613, while the overclocked card gave me a score of 9280, which is an increase of around 13%. In the Valley benchmark with stock clocks, the card managed to get a score of 2296, and the card with overclock managed to get 2519. In the Heaven benchmark, the stock card got 1316, while the overclocked card got 1493. In Battlefield 4, a very graphically intensive game, the stock card got an average of 65 frames per second, which was 8 frames below the overclocked card, which got 73 average frames per second. In Metro Last Light, the card at stock got an average of 40, which was just 5 below the card once overclocked.
In conclusion, the Gigabyte GTX 970 Windforce 3 is a great option for those who want a game at 1080p or 1440p. Right now, Newegg is having the card on sale for around $350 with a $30 mail-in rebate that's been going off and on for a while now, so you can pick up the card for a pretty good price. The only thing I would have to really dock the card for is the flimsy plastic shroud on the front. It's very plasticky and it just doesn't have very many support points on it. So like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and let me know how you think I did for my first video. Subscribe for more videos like this one.